Episode 54 of Alex's Day Off. That's right, episode 54, Alex's Day Off. I'm recounting October 7th? I think so. Saturday. I was in D.C. I went to Washington, D.C. for the first time. Went to the Air and Space Museum and literally closed it out. Or, no, I went to the Air and Space Museum from 11 until 4, and then I went to another museum and closed that museum out at 5:30. Can't remember that museum's name. Anyways, Air and Space Museum, literally started weeping when I was looking at the lunar module, or like the lunar lander. There we go. It was awesome. I was just like in awe of basically the ridiculousness of this like riveted together thing. Like it was just like, to me, ridiculous or really cool that we could come together and make this thing, this weird, like, super specialized thing. I feel like that's why I like spy stuff so much and like art so much, because it's super specific and its function is so small and specific. It's kind of ridiculous how much time we spend on it. And then it's there, and it's like, whoa, what? Like, it's not why did we make it? It's more like, how did it become valuable enough to come into existence? And like, what made it valuable enough for people to care about it, and for leadership to like take other people in that direction to make it its own thing that's super specialized and going into space and doing the moon landing, lunar landing. I just thought it was beautiful that people could come together and do something like that, and the pure like excitement that I felt there. It was amazing. They had like the Hubble telescope and camera from the original Hubble telescope, and they had this cool like module of the space station there. Anyways, all this like stuff. To me, it was that John F. Kennedy, we're going to go to the moon in the next decade. And it's like, all right, I guess we're doing that. And then people did it. To me, that's just great. I don't know. I really enjoyed that. I spent so much time there and took a lot of photos, edited a lot of photos yesterday. After I got out of there, I went to Dunkin' Donuts and like settled in for like 4 hours, I feel like, and worked on photos, which was good. It's good for today, because today I just got in, like, I'm still like 2 hours away from the destination I have for tomorrow, and I'm exhausted, really tired, and I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just like really tired in Pennsylvania. And feeling pretty drained from this trip, and getting excited to go back to Massachusetts where my parents are. And really excited to get like into relationships. And be really in-depth, have like really in-depth relationships. really want some in-depth relationships and grow as a person, and being out and doing this huge country tour and taking photos and enjoying it as much as I can. I need a break. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Maybe not overwhelmed, but just like, I went to the art museum. I went to 4 museums today, and I am like absolutely going crazy with it. It's crazy with, like, I have no one really to share with, maybe. I don't know. I'm looking for the next step. And in doing that, I feel like I'm not being present in the moment, and it's causing me to, like, feel all weird, maybe. I don't know. I'm just going through some stuff, I guess. Some turbulence. Gonna be shifting a lot of things and figure out financial things and play that game and be well, do good things. I don't know. Did have a really awesome time in DC. It's fantastic. It's scary. Like, I was there, and at some point I was like washing my hands at the Smithsonian, and I was like, man, terrorist could attack this place and just like blow up all this history right now. And it scared me, and I was there, and there was just so many sirens and police officers zipping around, and I'm like, this is such a weird place. No other place felt like this place feels now. I haven't been in like a giant major city, though. Really been in one for a while, so maybe that was the feeling that I normally got, but it was weird there. A lot of sirens, a lot of police, and it's like when I like went to Paris, and there was a freaking like military convoy that was stationed outside of a protest. It was weird. It's like that kind of weirdness. You know, I'm in America. Guys, I love you. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm like super tired right now. I'm sorry. Thank you for bearing with me with my lack of energy. Here's some clips coming up. Clips! Hopefully I took some. Yeah.
Or across a nice level piece of ground. So anyway, Neil and Buzz were out for about 2 hours, at which point Mission Control told them it was time to come back in. Buzz went up first, and then with Buzz at the top and Neil still down here at the bottom, they used a little pulley affair to get the suitcase of moon rocks and moon dust, the other scientific data up into the ascent stage. They then sealed the hatch, but they closed the hatch, but didn't seal it because they had some trash to get rid of.
Story for his reporters, so he brought it back to New York and gave it to some reporters at one of his newspapers out on Long Island, New York, when all of a sudden he read an article that had been transmitted across the Atlantic about Lilienthal continuing his experiments with other gliders. Lilienthal had gotten killed. He had crashed because he really didn't understand how to totally control something like this simply with your body weight. When Hearst heard about that, he decided, well, maybe I'm putting my newspaper reporters at risk, and he gave it to a museum, first out on Long Island, and then to the Smithsonian, and that's how we got this. It was built in 1896, so it is our oldest flying object in our collection here. But we also know that Hearst was not the only person that followed Lilienthal's experiments. There were 2 brothers in Dayton, Ohio, who were interested in the concept of flight. And they were also aware that in 1896, Lilienthal had been killed trying to fly a glider. And so a couple of years after that, when Wilbur and Orville Wright decided to build some experimental objects, they decided that they would do it very carefully. They would only learn gradually. We now call that the engineering method of learning, to actually expand your knowledge of a particular phenomenon slowly and not try to jump ahead to something. And as a result, Wilbur and Orville Wright didn't get killed. And they built an airplane in 1903, and we have it in this building, and we're going to go see it in a little bit. And part of it traces back to Lilienthal's glider lift theory experiments in the 1890s. But you may want to come back and see. I said there's some stuff on Glenn Curtiss on the other side. There's even an airplane that Glenn Curtiss ended up building here. So there's more things in here about early flight, and every airplane in here is real. It's not a recreation of an airplane. But what we're going to do now is we're going to wander around the museum and see some other historic things. Right now, I'm going to bust through the group. We're going to head over to the escalator. We're going to go up the escalator and find the spot on the balcony looking into the next big gallery up here. So if you'll follow me up the escalator, and please